Yep. It's right there, Randy. YouTube.com, Laura Kelland-May. Look. Okay. Hi there. Welcome. My name is Laura, and we are at Horse World Expo in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. My name is Laura, and this is Melanie.
Yes. I'm Melanie Wagner out of Shadow Acre Stables of Warrior's Mark.
And if you like to win more ribbons at your next horse show, like to improve your riding and training, or generally like other horsey-related stuff, then you're at the right place. And I've got Melanie here of this, what's your name, stable again?
Shadow Acre Stables.
Shadow Acre Stables. And what kind of riding do you do at Shadow Acre Stables? Is that in Pennsylvania?
Yes, it is in Pennsylvania. We do a little bit of everything. I'm mostly hunter-jumper based, but I'm really big into equitation. I do some Western pleasure riding. I could get a barrel horse started. We do a lot of trail riding and conditioning as well. So we're just kind of all across the board.
So it sounds like you have a stable. Does it have an arena? Like it's your own stable, and you do the training and offer lessons as well. Is that right?
Yes. I actually run the stable. I live on the property. Somebody else owns it, but he pretty much leaves it to me. We've got hayfields to ride around. We've got a mountain in our backyard, indoor, outdoor. We have lots of access to any kind of riding you really want to do. We have 2 stables on the property. We offer stable board and field board, which caters to a lot of different people. We've got all ages in there and all disciplines, so it's just a really nice, low-key place to be.
Sounds like a lot of fun. So what are you doing at Horse World Expo? I'm here. I've got a booth. I'm doing a couple presentations. I've done some hunter stuff in the arena over there, and I had to do some classroom presentations as well. So what are you doing here?
So I'm riding with the great Randy Thompson. We're doing dressage this weekend.
Shout out to Randy Thompson. Randy Thompson live on YouTube.
Yes, and she has been absolutely fantastic. She's just really great to work with. She's very kind, and her way of speaking is just very nice when you're riding, because it's low key, low stress, and it's very easy to receive her instruction. So we've been working on, creating connection, which is hard for my horse. And we're working with metronomes and fixing riding position, which has been really, really great. We're finding the flaws in our equitation and our striding and things, and it's just really improving.
So before we get on to this metronome thing that seems to be taking over all the riders that are riding with Randy, I would like to know a little bit more about your horse. What type of horse do you have? You mentioned that you were doing so many things: Western, English, hunter, jumper, starting barrel horse if you wanted to, trail riding, all these types of things. What kind of horse do you have, and what's he doing, or she?
So the horse I brought with me is a 15-year-old quarter horse named Jag. We've been struggling with some LLD, which is when one of his legs is shorter than the other. So he's had some off and on lameness for the last 4 years or so, till we got his legs figured out and his feet figured out. We've been trying to be hunter jumpers, but he is not into the long and low thing. So I'm just kind of, trying to improve his quality of muscle tone. So, playing with a little bit of dressage, doing a little bit of jumping. He really enjoys the cross-country jumping. So just trying to keep him happy and comfortable, just because he's not built the greatest.
I've never heard of that. LLD? What? And how do you figure out that a horse has something called LLD? And what does LLD stand for?
So I believe it's limb something displacement, and it's really he was just really lame, and we couldn't figure it out. We spent so much money on x-rays and injections, and we've probably gone through about 3 vets and 5 farriers until I had a farrier come, and I explained what the issue was, and he didn't even pick up his feet. He looked at his body and went, well, his muscles aren't even. And then he's looking at where his knees line up, and there was about an inch difference between his legs, and so the leg he was lame on was the longer one, which was taking all the concussion. So that's actually how we figured it out.
So was he lame, or was it the fact that one of his legs was longer than the other, or was one of his legs longer than the other because he had compensating for an issue with lameness?
So
Or is it just kind of like a domino effect?
Yeah, when we started with the vet, she saw the lameness behind first. So we started with, hock injections, and then we worked up into, his hindquarters, through his back, through his shoulders, until we finally, he had his coffins injected and just all kinds of blocking. So she actually saw the lameness behind first, and we worked front. So I'm not exactly sure how it got started. He has had a couple bad falls, which might have messed up his hips or his shoulders at some point. But he's always been really weak to the right also, which is his shorter side. So it's hard to determine exactly where it came from first, but the lameness was a result of him having the longer leg.
Okay. So, Melanie, how long have you had your stable, and are you full-time now training at your stable?
Yes. So I graduated from Wilson College in 2016, and I immediately started working at Shadow Acre Stables the next day. And so I've been there for almost 2 years now. We are full-time boarding. We've got about 25 horses on the property now.
What college again?
Wilson College in Chambersburg.
And what did you take at Wilson College?
So I majored in equestrian management and equine journalism.
Cool.
Yeah, they have the track set up really well, so if you want to major in more than one equine based major, you can. It flows really well. So they were able to make that work out for me really well.
So you, for the last 2 years, worked at Shady Acres?
Shadow Acres.
Shadow Acres, not Shady Acres. That's somebody else's stable.
Yeah.
It's Shady Acres, not your stable. Shadow Acres, excellent. And do you go to horse shows in the area? What type of students do you have?
So most of my students start out, I have a very beginner-friendly horse, so I have a lot of younger kids coming in, and we took them to their first shows last summer. He was doing walk trot at the local level just to get the exposure. We did get to some schooling, dressage, and combined training tests shows last year. I haven't really gotten into the upper levels yet, but I just bought a 3-year-old thoroughbred, so I'm hoping we can get some...
So is Jake 3 years old?
No, he's the 15-year-old. Yeah, he's the quarter horse. But yeah, hopefully we'll get into some bigger stuff with him.
So you got a thoroughbred, that's your new up-and-comer, and what do you have planned for him now?
I'm going to kind of let him tell me the direction he wants to go. He's super athletic, looks like he might make a good hunter horse, just because he kind of has a little bit of the daisy cutter action going on, and he's so well balanced under saddle. I think he's going to advance pretty quickly, but we're going to play around with it, see what he likes. I'd be interested to take him cross country a little bit. We haven't quite started jumping yet, but
a 3-year-old, you want to wait a little
take
bit,
your
right?
time. Yeah, but out on the trail, he's not spooky. He's really brave. He doesn't take control at all, which is really nice because he was gelded late, so I was a little nervous about that.
Okay, so what are some of the things that you've been riding with Randy for two sessions now?
Well, there was 2 on Thursday and 1 on Friday.
Okay, so you've been riding with Randy 3 times. What are some of the big things that you've learned that maybe you haven't heard of before from riding with Randy?
So, like keeping the connection, my horse just gets so tight that, she had me picking up the reins and keeping consistent pressure on both sides of the reins, which, usually makes him hollow out and get really upset. But she said, just keep holding him there. Eventually he'll put his nose down and accept the contact.
It's a tough concept, isn't it?
Yeah, especially because he just gets so upset. Like his jaw gets tight and his pull and just down through his neck and then his sides. And it's a progression. And we're trying to break through that. And it helped a lot.
So I was watching the warm-up. Randy was working with some of our other demo riders today in the big ring, the big arena, and there was so much going on in there. It was crazy. There was somebody being lunged, like a gypsy vanner being lunged. There was somebody doing side passes over poles, Western guys, and there was somebody on a horseback with 2 dogs and whistles, right, making the dogs, like herding dogs, running back and forth. And it's really amazing, all the different people that are here. What is one of the unusual things that you've seen here at the Expo? Maybe not in the arena, but anywhere on the grounds, let's say?
Well, the thing that's really, the thing that's really going to stick out to me is by the one door in the large arena, there must be like a donkey or a mule stabled out there.
Yes.
And he was making his sound, and it cracked me up every time I went around, because I love the sounds they make. And luckily my horse wasn't bothered by it, but it cracked me up every time I went around. I'm pretty...
I saw him. He's white. He's a white draft.
Aw.
Yeah.
Very cool. Yeah.
So I just want to take the camera, so if you get seasick, just bear with me. I'm going to take the camera to show you the people, and Melanie, maybe you could just talk about what you've seen here at the trade show part.
Yeah. Okay. So there are so many vendors here. You know, they've got everything from like the thermoplate lady. She's great. She'll give you a massage. You know, there's essential oils and jewelry and just all kinds of stuff for your horse. They've got custom boots, so you can order here. And most of the places have things that are on special for the expo, which is fantastic. I got a couple pairs of boots this weekend already. Yeah, just because you couldn't beat the price. They're on show special, and you know, they're really nice quality too. So everything here is just fantastic. And you know, things you need for your stable. There are barn builders. There are, you know, automatic water suppliers. There's different grain representatives from grains here. The trailers are here. You know, tack and equipment from every walk of life, every discipline, every horse. There's just so much. You know, there's a little bit of something for everybody. And even if you're not into horses, there's plenty of jewelry and clothes and things that are just wonderful.
You're going to move over to me now.
Okay.
Or you're going to move the camera.
There you go.
There we go. Well, thank you, Melanie, so much for visiting. And my name is Laura, and this is...
I'm Melanie Wagner.
From Shadow Acre Equestrian,
Stables.
Right?
Yep.
Shadow Acre Equestrian Stables. Thanks so much for watching this video. We'll hope to see you again. I'll be doing more of these live interviews. They're lots of fun. Thanks now. See you later. Bye.
Thank you.